Hello everyone, can you hear us?
Yeah, we should start already or? Okay, so we'll wait just 1 minute just to be sure that.
And if could anyone type in the chat if you can hear us, that would be great. Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, so if you get a green light, then we'll start. Good morning, everybody. I would like to welcome you on our session, Development of Application for Microsoft Dynamics Business Central by IT.integro. I'm Wojciech Kwiczor. I'm Product Manager in IT.integro, and I'm with Michał.
Hi, welcome everyone.
And let's start. The short agenda for today. So we'll start with the introduction to Microsoft Dynamics Business Central with the system architecture. Next, we'll talk shortly about AppSource, what is it and what is the purpose for this. And later on, we'll go to the app development at IT.integro. So it means we'll start about some words about our company. Later on, we will tell about the development environment, short case study, some example, and we'll try to implement it in the system using Azure DevOps tools. So in the beginning, just let's have all the same idea. What is the ERP system?
Yeah, just to start, just to give you a brief idea, because it's not always clear what is an ERP system. In short words, it's basically the software dedicated for business, the software which has the common database, which is shared between different departments, so the data flows between the warehouse module, finance module, sales, purchase, and so on. So the ERP system concludes of different modules, like you can see on this small diagram, and the data flow between each of them. And one of ERP systems is Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. If you heard about Dynamics family, you might know this system previously as Dynamics NAV or Navision. From 2018, there was a transformation, a new product based on the Dynamics NAV appeared, and it's called Business Central since then. And this application, this system, is available on cloud, so as a system as a service, and also as on-prem solutions, which big customers can have directly on their servers. It has its own language. It's called AL. So this language is used only for this system, for this application, and it's extensible. So it's not that the customers get a system which cannot be modified, which cannot be customized. In Dynamics NAV, we had full access to the source code, so the base application could be modified. But from Business Central, Microsoft provides us kind of the hooks, we call them publishers, where you can connect to either change the business logic, override it, or maybe fully implement something new. So this is Business Central.
Okay, so a few words about the structure. So it's the whole system is composed of many components. So we'll present here the high-level representation. So the basic one is the system application. The system application contains the modules that interact with the whole Business Central platform and online ecosystem. So next we have base application, and then base application, this is that where we have whole business logic. So all these modules which Michał presented as a ERP system, it's implemented in the base application. Next, we can have some extension done by Microsoft, by producer. So this gives some additional things, not strictly related to the base processes in the ERP system. And this, what is most important for us is the extensions. Yeah. So Microsoft give the code to partners and say, okay, you can create your own solutions to extend the standard one. You can sometimes modify the logic, the standard business logic. You can add some new fields, new pages, etc. So this is the whole view of the application. We have also the platform, but we'll not talk about the platform today. So let's just focus on this application stack, and especially for the extensions. So what is the way how the partners can modify the standard system, and how they deliver the application, this modification or modules to the customers and partners. So we have AppSource. This is kind of the shop where partners can publish their extension plugins to standard system and install it in the direct environment. So the platform, the AppSource, is dedicated for all products of Microsoft. We want to focus on the Business Central. When you can see, this is the list of all products. When we select Business Central, we'll see that for our ERP system, which is a base for us, we have more than 3,000 apps available already in the AppSource. Of course, we as a partner have also a few applications. One of them we will discuss later in details. I just want to switch for a second to this AppSource and show you. Let's find my mouse. Okay. Yeah. So it's filtered on our apps. So each of them can be sold in different way. It can be we can ask partners or clients to contact us. We can sell it as a free app, or we can have also the free trial. When I click on this, I can see that here is the short of the description of the app. What is purpose for this? Here I can have some screenshots, some demo, and also additional info about and some links to documentation, some price lists, etc. So each of the application have such description where users and customers can see what is the purpose for this app, and if this is interesting for them, they can ask install directly or ask to contact with partners. Okay, so that's all from my side as an introduction to AppSource, and now a few words about
us, right?
Us. Yes.
Okay, just to give you a brief idea who we are the company which is focused only on or maybe not only, but on the topics around Business Central and previously Dynamics NAV system. So 230 employees for now working on this one Microsoft product. So we have consultants. We are all the consultants are also developers. So we know the business part and programming part as well. We are present on the market for over 30 years for now, and for over 20 years we are working with different formats of Navision system. And mainly we are focused on implementing the system on an end customer side. So it's project, a regular project. When we get during the analysis the needs of the customer, then we have the implementation phase, testing phase, user acceptance test, data migration, then the go live, and then support until the go live. So whole life cycle of the product or the implementation. But for a couple of years, our company, as Microsoft, also is investing in application area. So we have currently 5 development teams who are working on apps, the apps which Wojtek just showed you. Currently we have, currently these are a few apps we chosen, but actually you already saw on AppSource that currently we have 9 apps available there. We are the independent software vendor, so we are preparing this app and distributing them through our partners worldwide. So we do not operate just in Poland. We operate all over the world. We have the implementation almost everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. So let's move forward, and a few words about the development environment, as this is the technical conference. Then it will be, I believe, interesting. So the source code of the application is stored in the central repository. As mentioned, as Michał mentioned, we have the dedicated programming language, the AL. We have specific type of objects. We handle later on, Michał will show some examples. This is just a text file, and all of this will be later compiled and build the app, which is presented later on in the AppSource, or it will be installed directly to the system. So we use Docker to simulate the real environment. So this is the tool for developers when they want to see how the app looks like, how it works. Each app is multi-language, so we use the XLF file to handle multi-language. In our apps, to editing the code, we use the Visual Studio Code, the tool prepared and released by Microsoft, and still moving forward. There we have also some extensions which make our life easier. We also responsible for deliver the documentation. This is also stored in the repository. We use the Markdown to write it everything. And the final step is what we need to mention, that for each app we also need to write the automated tests, just to make the releases stable, and everything what can be done automatically, it will be done. Yeah. So let's go to the Visual Studio.
So I get the screen. I'll show you briefly how it looks like
so I'm
stop showing. So I'm showing right now, and you should see the visual.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. So Wojtek has briefly mentioned about the structure. So we can see on we are using basically the Visual Studio for programming. We on the local computer we have cloned the the central repository shared on our DevOps resources. Currently, you can see that I'm working on a modification which was created. This branch was created based on the master one. It's one feature. We'll talk about it later. But for what's important for now, that I have the workspace and have the source code in AL files in different subfolders. So we differentiate different types of objects. And these are the most common ones in this app. This is a small app, so we don't have much code here. But basically, we can differentiate the code units. Code units are basically the function which are going to be triggered by the applications of different. They handle the different business logic. Then we have the pages. You can see I can have multiple pages here in the Visual Studio. So page is the user interface. That's basically it displays the data in our, I mean, maybe not fully our customized way, but it displays the data from the table, presents the data to the user. We have the possibility to define some actions there. So basically, this is what users see in the application. So we can choose the fields which will be available from the table, and also the actions which a user can trigger, can run. Then we have the tables. Tables, like a table, it stores the data. So whatever user type in on the page, it will be saved in the data, and then application is getting this data and basically processing this, running different business logic with the code units.
Okay, in this example, we don't have table extensions.
We have.
We have. Okay,
okay.
Sorry. Okay.
And we have table extensions, objects type. So table extension, that's the type of the object which extends the base app objects. So Microsoft provides us some tables as well, of course, in the base app. So we can also extend them with this specific object type. So we can decide that, let's say, to the customer table, we would like to add 2 more fields which should be visible for the users. And the similar object type is the page extension. Okay, so these are the objects we have. Then we have the translations. So we are programming in English. All the standard captions are kept in English. In addition, we have, like you can see here, Polish and German translations files as well. And then at the end, we have the tests. So automated tests. They are basically based on the code units, so they are triggered automatically when building actually while publishing the app on our resources, and then on the AppSource. So to keep the application correct and check that everything after the modification is prepared correctly. Okay.
So we will continue. If you are interested more in some basics, last year we had a session where we show step by step the way how to create the new table. The session is in Polish, but still you can find some info also on YouTube channels. Okay, so let's move forward, and introduction to our app, which we are going to use as an example for our case study.
Yeah, so during this presentation, we will basically modify our intercompany insights app, which is currently available in AppSource. This application is dedicated mainly to corporate groups having multiple locations, multiple companies, subsidiaries. And it basically allows customer to double check, to verify the stock levels, the customer balances, stock availability in other companies.
Yeah,
that's the main purpose.
If they are deal in the group, then it's suitable to.
So in that case, Kronos Hamburg can connect via web service to Kronos Copenhagen just to verify the stock level, because they might trade between, they might have the trade between each other, and maybe they would like to sell to final customer from the Copenhagen, so they can verify the stock levels from there.
Okay, so how we deal with the process of the change. So if we have the new requirement, then customer or partner who is using our app create a ticket on service desk, and then person responsible for handling this will analyze if the change is suitable. We don't have any different way to achieve this requirements. If this is fine to implement this, then the task is going to be requested to the development team, and they will develop the change. And when the change will be ready and published on the master branch, then the new version of the app will be generated by pipelines and publish it to the AppSource where users or partners can use it. So we have here such example.
Yes. So we did receive basically the new requirement from our partner that they would like to have the application extended on the page. They would like to have the new fields, search description, which they would like to see. So basically, what's the search description in other company for the specific item? And we are going to show you how such a change is implemented in our process in our company.
Okay, so I will again stop sharing.
Yeah, I will take the screen again.
Yep. So first of all, we'll show you how the application looks before change. Yeah. So
and then after the change.
Yeah. Okay.
So you should see the Business Central application right now. So that's the newest version, BC21, and basically how our application works. We are in Kronos Master Company. In this environment, we have couple more. So we have Kronos Denmark, Kronos Germany, Kronos Poland. So there are a few companies in the group, and we would like to check the stock level in another company. And on this view, where we're checking the stock levels, we would like to see also, because we have different items in the group. Each item have also the search description field. Search description, we would like to see this field on a special view in our application. So we have the view, ICI availability overview.
Yeah. So this is new page.
This is the new page in our application.
The design in our application, yes.
And here the customer or partner would like to have this additional field, search description, where we are using the refresh action. Basically, application is connecting to all the companies via web services to get the data and build the view of with the availability, with the inventory levels, and so on for different locations, items. And here we would like to extend this up with additional fields. Okay.
So now we back to me again. So we see how the application looks like. We have the requirement, and now the whole process starts. Yeah. So first of all, we'll focus on the local development environment. So this is what developer needs to have on his laptop to develop the change. So first of all, he needs to have local version of the repository with the whole code. He will use the Visual Studio to change the objects, of course, in AL language, and everything can check on the virtual structure, our Docker, where the application will be composed, simulate the real case, and that's all. Yeah. So when this will be done, the change will be published to or pushed to a central repository. There we will make the code review and everything will be correct. Then we can start with releasing the new version of the application. So then the whole automation will start with the pipelines, which is just a YAML script which will collect everything, try to build and compile the new version of the app. All details I will describe later. So this will produce the app, which will be stored in the artifacts. And when this will be ready, then the next pipeline will publish the new version to dedicated place. We have a few places where our final app can be sent. So it can be some shared folder, the AppSource, and of course, if this is, for example, the modification for the customer, then we can publish it directly to the environment of our customer. We can also prepare some predefined Docker images, so we can publish also dedicated images for our partners that they will have all environments Docker with Business Central and with the latest version of the app, that they can again extend our application, because this is also possible that other partners can slightly change our app. If this is not something what can be used globally, then the local change for specific customer can be also
basically where we are allowed them to.
Exactly. So this is the whole flow, and step by step we'll went through this. So first we'll focus on the local development. This will Michał show. So what will be part of the demo? So first of all, Michał will modify the app on dedicated branch. Then he will commit the change to the central repository. He will create the pull request. Next, I will be the code reviewer. I will see if everything is correct from the good practice perspective, the logic, etc. We always focus on this, that always somebody need to check the modification before it will be published to the master branch, and later on we'll merge the change to the master branch and build the artifacts. I believe that this will not happen during this demo, but we'll see. Okay, so demo of the new feature.
Okay, so let's come back to the Visual Studio Code. So what do we have here already? Our developer has prepared a new branch with search description to availability page add addition. And we can see on the source control that we have already some changes now done by the developer. So we can just take a quick look what was done here. So the requirement was to add a search description field on this to the table and view. So we have it. We have a search description field. We can see this. It was added also on the page published by the web service in order to have it sent to the requiring company. Also, overview page needs the search description field, and the business logic was modified in the code units. In the sender code units, which is responsible for sending the data, we also include this field. And in one code unit responsible for the management and processing the data, we also have this search description, basically recognize from a JSON file, which will be used for the communication. And now, once the developer finished the changes, we will stage all the changes, and we will commit them to the central repository description feature. So we'll comment the changes. We will sync the changes so that the changes will be sent to the branch in our central repo. So now it's synchronizing, and we are going to switch now, once it's synchronized, to our DevOps. Okay, now it should be there. So we are going to change the screen to DevOps. Okay.
Yeah.
And now we are on Azure DevOps, which we use in our company for handling different products. And so on the left side, you can see we have the repository for this product, and we have a notification that the branch for the feature has been just updated. So we need to create a pull request in order we would like to merge it to master search description added. And I will add Wojciech as the reviewer, because he will basically analyze this code and double check if everything is fine. And I'm going to create a new pull request.
Okay, so I believe now it's my part, so
I'll stop sharing for a moment.
Share the screen again. Okay, I hope it's presented.
Yes, you can see.
Okay, so I will go to pull requests, and I see that pull request for me is waiting. I'm required for this. So I need to make a review of the code. The pipeline is running in background, so everything what we mentioned that automatically will be done. Then it's going behind, and this what I need to check. I should check the modification, the code. Yeah, so each modified object are presented here. I can switch to side-by-side view that I will clearly view what Michał changed. So I can switch to object by object, and this what for sure I need to check. Yeah, exactly, as always.
Oh.
So Michał added field, but did not add specific property tooltip. Tooltip in our system is kind of small help. So we should specify when we have a field, we should always specify what is the purpose of this field, that user have exactly knowledge what is the purpose and what maybe the value should be specified there. Please add the tooltip to the new field. So I will comment it. I have another page, so here is fine. Yeah? Yeah, so always is like this, that somebody needs to check if there's nothing to be verified. The rest of the objects looks fine. So now again, yeah, we will switch to.
So I need to correct what I did wrong. This is very often that developers forgot about some properties, some best practices. So it's very
so
crucial
need to add this
to double check this, right? So normally I will see this. There's a comment on either on the pull request. If I refresh it, you can see here that Wojciech has made a comment. I will receive an email notification that something needs to be corrected. So then I know as a developer that I need to correct something.
Yeah, if we'll have many projects, then it's easier to.
Exactly. So I need to access the web service page
and here just
for the search description. Oh, actually, not this one. The overview. Yeah, here it is.
Okay.
So update tooltip.
So we have some snippet which will suggest, and some intelligence that will suggest which, based on the first letters, what property can be added.
Specifies the search description of the item. Now I'll need to stage this change. Tooltip updated. I'll commit this change, sync the change. Now I can also come back to the DevOps here and make a comment that's corrected.
Then, yeah. Okay. So
I'll stop sharing.
Again. Take this, and I will see that the tooltip is present here. So this was my just one comment, so I can approve, but I will not approve.
So no, because
this is the live environment, and this production we don't want to have it in the application right now. Okay, so the new feature is done, and now let's move forward with our process. So now we'll talk about the CI, which is CI pipeline, which is going in the background. Yeah. So as I mentioned, the pipeline CI is just a YAML script which is programming some steps what should be done on the virtual agent just to produce the new version of the app. So the script will be run on the agent. Agent is the virtual machine when the whole application is built, and all these steps here mentioned briefly just mention which will be done. So we need to update the app version, we need to compile and publish our app. So this is what Michał prepared. So everything will be done on dedicated container, just like Michał presented previously. We can simulate on this agent the real environment. We will publish the app, and we will publish also the test app. We'll publish also the test app just to be sure that everything is correct. Later on, we'll publish the test results so the release manager can see that all tests are fine, or maybe some of them are failed. Then he needs to decide if this is something critical or not. Next, the app will be signed because the app should be signed. Publish artifacts, and as a last step, clean the resource. Okay, and now we have demo. So let's move to our pipeline. As I can see, this change, which is published by Michał, is still in progress. So we can see where we are. Maybe this I will describe shortly, that each CI pipeline is running against a different version of the app. So we as a developer have access to some pre-release delivered by Microsoft that we need to check if our app will be still compatible with the next minor and next major. We also have minimal version which should be also fulfill the requirements about the compatibility. So all the steps which I presented are performed against all these environments, and all the steps here are all details are done. This is not completed yet, so this what I wanted to show you is just to go to the one of the change which was already finished, and when everything is fine, then we see green lights for this. And this what I wanted to show you is this test results. Yeah, here on when the pipeline is finished, I can see the test results. Here, okay, we have only 20 tests, but everything is fine. If some of them were failed, then I can see details here, and I, as a release manager, need to handle if there's something critical and the change needs to be corrected or not. So everything will be done before the change will be implemented in the master.
Exactly, because it's worth mentioning that also when we publish the app to the AppSource, Microsoft has the validation as well. So they check the quality of the code, they check the if it meets the standards of Microsoft and best practices, and in order we have some problems or with compatibilities, our app upload will be rejected. So we need to make sure before we do the final upload that everything is fine.
That everything is fine. Okay, so let's move forward
yeah, few more words about documentation, because application is one, but to make the whole product, we need to also deliver automated tests and documentation. So this is something which is the connected part to each application we have. Documentation, again, we have the central repository which we clone with the documentation. We do the local changes in a markdown in the Visual Studio Code, then we synchronize with the central repo, and we build a page using the docfix automations and our pipelines, and then the documentation is shared to our docs IT.integro site, and here each application has the documentation enabled. So here you can see that we have the technical documentation for IT.integro. So let's say if you take a look on the Polish localization inside, this one is only in English. So if you take a look on Polish localization, that's the Polish documentation.
Okay. So
actually,
change,
we can change here, or we can also. So each documentation is in similar format, so all products are documented in similar way. We inform in new and planned about the releases, about planned functionality, as of the roadmap, and also the business functionality is described. That's the release note. Business functionality shows and presents explains different processes in the system, the application, and this is what basically documentation delivers.
Every change also trigger some modification, or most of the changes trigger some modification in the documentation. Yeah? So now we want to talk about the final step. So the continuous delivery. So as I mentioned, when the app is fine, the change is approved, everything is fine, the new version of the app is produced, then we need to publish our new version of the app to different places. Yeah. So we will focus on the AppSource. So we can send the new version of the app to AppSource Publication, where Microsoft will again validate everything against their requirements. This is what Michał mentioned, that they need to be sure that this what is produced by partners are high quality, are compatible with existing environments, etc., etc. So when we'll publish the app, then some steps, some automated steps are performed later on. Some preview where partner can again see on the AppSource if everything is fine with the app. When this step is approved, then the publisher sign-off is done. Here is mentioned that manual validation is rather seldom, rather dedicated for the new apps, some marketing stuff, description, if all materials are delivered, etc. And finally, the step with publishing the app, so it's on the AppSource. So since this time, every environment in the Microsoft Cloud have access to the new version of the app. Okay, and that's all.
That's all
from our side.
Yes, if you'd like to join us, please scan the QR code. We'll be happy to have you on board. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your attention and see you on the party.